Welcome to the Last Supper. I'm preparing your meal today would be piece of meatloaf. I'm going to cut up my few herbs I need and I'm going to put that together. I've already been cleaning ahead of time so it won't be as long as my last one was. But I'm cooking collard greens with kale with ham hock. Can't put as much ham hock as I would like, but I need that flavor. I need that smoked flavor in there to make the greens taste good. And I'm going to do fried corn. And I'm going to do a potato, a sweet potato. I'm baking the potatoes right now, and that takes some time. So I had to do a lot of If it's anything that I'm cooking and that you don't quite understand how I put it together, you can contact me and let me know, and I'll do a prep video. Because sometimes it takes a lot going into it, and what you see is not necessarily the whole product, but to come out and taste the way it needs to taste. But I know you don't want to spend a day in the kitchen with me, and I don't want to be in the kitchen all day. So I did a lot of prep work this time. So we're going to start. Hope you enjoy it. Okay, we're going to start with the, I'm going to cut up the parsley and the cilantro together. This is my ground meat. That's 2 pounds, 80-20 ground meat. I had to, I'm holding this rolling pin because I had to, it's breadcrumbs. I use whole wheat bread, whole wheat crackers to make my breadcrumbs. These are my breadcrumbs. So when I get ready to put it all together, you'll see. So right now we're going to cut up these few seasonings. Fortunately, it's not that many, because the flavor is really going to come. You're making this, it's going to be sort of like a pizza taste. But it's much, much better than what a pizza could be because you're using the ground meat. It's very filling. It's a different twist from the regular meatloaf that people make. Eliminating a lot of steps, which is great for me. Sometimes you be in the mood to, do a lot of cooking, and sometimes you don't. I got up this morning and went to church, and I got the food for my soul. Now I got to work on the stomach. But I'm going to tell you something I forgot to mention to you all. And I actually found this out last night, which I'm pretty sure has been told to me a million times by a lot of nutritionists. Your breakfast is your most important meal. And this morning I was rushing. And I'm trying to get out of here to do my thing with Jesus. And I needed to eat. And I first thought, well, I boil an egg. Well, I can't be running back and forth, but babysitting the egg. So I said, well, I woke my husband up. Do you have any peanut butter in there? Because you can eat a peanut butter. Check this out. You can eat some peanut butter, not the whole jar, mind you, on bread. Preferably wheat, whole grain bread. But whatever bread you got is better, or crackers, whatever you have. You can eat that, and that's your protein. Drink you some milk or water, whatever you like to drink. Don't drink a cold drink, please. And that's sufficient. So I know my grandbaby, she loves the peanut butter and jelly, so I made her peanut butter and jelly. So it's inspired me to put a little crumb of jelly on mine. And it was so good, I made me a half a sandwich. I said, well, I don't want to cheat too much with this jelly. I made a half a sandwich for myself. Then I cut up an apple for us to munch on. My baby ate the apple after she ate the sandwich. There was no munching for her. But I always have to have some kind of fruit. I throw it in my purse, so if I started feeling like I'm hungry, I can eat a piece of fruit. That peanut butter and I will say pinch of jelly was so good. I came home and made me another half a sandwich. Now that'll hold me to dinner. But this second time I drank me some milk. I drank water the first time. Okay, this is all cut up. This is ready to go in the the ground meat, on top of the ground meat. Now this recipe doesn't necessarily call for cilantro and celery, but I've cooked this recipe so many times, and I'm putting a lot of low-fat stuff in here, like these crackers. You know, I got to worry about the carbs and the sugar and that type of thing. So when I'm taking stuff out, I try to put vegetable in to make it taste so much better. Now, I got to cut this onion up. I'm going to put, well, I guess I'll use this half one and see. You don't want to put too much because you don't want to overwhelm the meat. You want the meat is the focal point in all of this, but you want it to be good. So I'm going to chop up this half of onion, and I'm going to put that in there. I got to do a pretty good chopping on this because I don't like big hunks of meat or seasoning, any kind of seasoning, in a meat that I can readily see it. You know, ground meat don't cook a long time. It don't take ground meat a long time to cook. So I'm gonna cut this up a good bit. This is yellow onion. You know, yellow onions want to make you cry or think you're going blind, all that kind of foolishness, which I think is very selfish. But what you gonna do? You got to eat it. Okay, so we got this going. And all I'm going to need is a half. I'm not going to put no onions in there. Because when I cut it up fine, as fine as I like, you know, different strokes for different folks. If you make this menu recipe, and you might say, oh, I like big pieces of onion. Or I don't feel like doing this and that. Well, you do whatever you want. If you're the one eating it, it's not like you're selling it to anybody. A lot of times the reason why people stop cutting up something is say, oh, my eyes burning and this and that. Well, I'm almost on the verge of that right now, and I just started. But once again, as I told you, you're cooking from your heart. You're cooking for your family or your friends or whatever, your boo. I don't know, but if you want to stay being your boo, you have to do it right. Somebody else might be booing him. Now my eyes have started to burn, so this good enough. He ain't going nowhere. He'll be right there. He boo up enough. So I'm gonna put this in the ground meat. Now, in my last video, I told you as a rule, I don't use a lot of seasoning. Certain things require that I use a lot of seasoning. Sometimes I scale back. It's mostly like do what you want a situation. Okay, that's for the cutting up. We don't have to do no more cutting up. So I'm going to move this over here. Okay, gang, I'm back. Towel. Now I got to tidy up. I'm the tidy up queen. I can move my rolling pin. That's all the rolling I'm going to do. Okay, here's the ground meat. Now, they want you to add all of this in here. This is the saltine. I've already ground that up. Now, I'm going to put a little hole in here because when I add these eggs, you don't want it to just sit on top. I got to mix it with my hands, so I don't want it to just sit on top. And I'm not putting on no glove and all that. A lot of people wear gloves because they don't want to feel it. I want to feel. There got to be some feeling going. Okay. This is evaporated milk. I put it in this container so it stays better. Then try to put it in a can, it's not gonna last in the refrigerator, and you're not gonna use it all at one time. So I need a cup of the evaporated milk. So I might as well pour all this in here. So we're gonna pour that in there. We're gonna place it over here. My husband had to go to the store because I ran out of Parmesan cheese. Turn that down for me, please, ma'am. 69. You know, I got the oven on. I got the potatoes, the sweet potatoes in the oven. I just cooked some brown rice. You know, everybody was wanting rice. And I switched about a month ago from white rice to brown rice. I'm taking the leave and everything off. I don't know what kind of opening I'm doing. And it took me a while to get the hang of it as far as cooking it. I had a problem learning how to cook it, but you know I wasn't gonna let rice beat me, because all my life I've eaten white rice. So when I get through fighting with this container, well, the fight's over. Then I need a half a cup of this Parmesan cheese. A half a cup. Well, you see I go over, but that's okay. We'll be all right. I'll put this in here. Now, I'm going to hold on to this cup because I like to crack my eggs one at a time. I don't just crack the eggs over into the whatever I'm cooking. In this case, the ground meat. Because what if the egg is rotten? You won't see it necessarily, or it'll be too late if you see it if you crack it inside the item that you're cooking. So I crack them one at a time so I can check it out. And if it's anything wrong with it, you usually have a dark black or red spot. If it have a red spot, then that's blood. And you get rid of that, don't you? Sit up there and put that in your food. Okay, I'm gonna move this around a little bit so we can see what we're working with here. Look pretty good, don't it? Hadn't cooked this in a while either. But since I got to change up everything, I'm trying to find things that doesn't require a lot of fat food. I'm gonna put this egg in here. You see this bad boy? It's a bad boy, isn't it? All that white stuff is from that cheese. I'm not, it doesn't necessary for me to dirty up or clean. I know what I'm looking at. You make sure you know what you're looking at. See how pretty that one is? We're going to put that in there. So we're ready for action with the eggs. Okay, now we're going to add the seasoning now. The recipe called for oregano. So I'm going to put it in here. I don't know about how many this and that. It just shake till you get tired of shaking that one and start shaking something else. Okay, we're going to put a little onion powder. Now, all these different seasons I'm putting in now, that's not what the recipe called for. That's what I called for. I put gumbo seasoning. You see this brand of seasoning? Specifically for when you're cooking Louisiana food, that River Road gumbo seasoning. I put it in a lot of things other than gumbo. Everybody don't sell it. But when I tell you it gives you a flavor that you would never forget, this barbecue shrimps, you don't just have to use it on barbecue shrimp. Who knowing that you not doing it? They don't know. When they eat it all up, you will know. Then this is the jambalaya mix. They don't know it's not jambalaya. You think the ground meat know it's not jambalaya? One person know is you. And I don't guess you're going to be running around and say, oh, don't eat this because I got the jambalaya mix in it. This is the garlic powder. And of course, Old Faithful. Martins. Now we're going to put Martins in it. I'm going to add some more Martins in a little later, but I'm going to put a little pepper. I'm going to whoop that on them. You don't have to whoop too much on them because that's the wrong side. The barbecue shrimp seasoning, they have a little kick pipe spice in it. So you don't want to be too crazy. Okay. Now, I'm not going to waste my life standing here stirring. So we're going to get this party started. So I'm mixing it up with my hand because I want everything to get mixed up. I don't want no misunderstanding. When I'll probably be the one slicing and say, oh, I don't have enough of this and that. Well, that's not going to happen because I'm going to mix it right in the first place. So see how when you mixing it, you turn that meat over, it don't look like it have any seasoning at all. But all that seasoning you saw me add the first time, well, I'm not going to stand here and add all that, do all that shaking. I'm going to shake some, but not all of them, because it don't need all of them. And you'll see, well, you won't see, but if you pass by, you see. See how I'm trying to mix that up and break up them breadcrumbs. You know, the eggs and breadcrumbs going to keep it together. That's what that's about. Keeping all that together. Now, I want to add more seasoning. So I got to rinse my hand off. Because I can't be having all that going on. Okay, you know I'm going to put more seasoning salt. You know ain't no way in the world. A little bit of seasoning salt I put on there and call that a day. Okay. Now, when I finish using a product, I put it out of sight. Out of sight, out of mind. All right. Now, although I put chopped onion, put a little onion powder. It ain't going to hurt nobody. Put that out the way. Now, I didn't have to chop up any garlic for this. And I'm not going to do more chopping than I need to. Now, these other three, we're not going to use this second time. We don't need to use it. I'm going to put some more of this oregano. It's not that much coming out. And I'm heavy-handed, and I don't want to take the top off. So I'm going to have to just sit and shake, rattle, and roll now. All right, that ought to be enough. If it's not, then the next time I fix it, I don't know. I'm going to mix it up one last time. I can feel it getting tight like it needs to get for the loaf part of it all. Look good, don't it? Oh, it's so many ways you can fix ground meat. You know, the other day I fixed those hamburger steaks, and my husband, he requesting it again. Well, you got to eat other things, the same thing over and over and over. He just want to eat, and plus I got other things on my mind with the ground meat, so he got to wait. Oh, he gonna eat this like this. He in 1999, so don't worry about that. Okay, now look how you can see the seasoning in there. It's so pretty. It's just so pretty. Okay, now I gotta go over here and make some arrangements in this oven because I got those baked potatoes in there and I gotta move them to the side because everything have to be centered so it can bake properly. And of course, you know, I'm washing my hands again. If I fall out, you gotta know. I'm going to use this dish. Sometimes I use a loaf pan, but I got 2 pounds of ground meat and I don't have a loaf pan that big. So you can make a smaller version of this and just cut your recipe in half. If you want to make a smaller version for maybe 2 or 3 people, use a pound. But then you might not eat. Well, this gang don't eat on stuff twice anyway. Okay, I'm gonna spray some Pam in here. So I don't want it to stick. You know, it's gonna make its own liquids. Now we're gonna put this. We're gonna make us a loaf here. We're going to make the loaf in the pan and we're going to transfer it to the Pyrex dish. And it's going to look good. The oven got to be on 350. The oven on 350? All right. Because I got my potatoes in there. And you know it's always good to start everything with 350 and everything will be everything. I just don't want to come out the pan, but it's coming out of this pan. When this get to almost done, we're gonna put the piece of sauce on top, and we're gonna put the mozzarella cheese, and it's gonna truly taste like a piece of meatloaf when you ain't had to do all that rigmarole. Don't that look good? That look good, don't it? I must say so myself. Oh, I see my greens. Pop it over into my greens. Pop the camera over to my greens. I see my greens is trying to. I gotta add more greens to this pot because I'm putting it in my emerald cooker. I told you before. Oh, look, come on. They said, for 45 minutes. Steaming up your phone. Give me the phone. Oh, it is. Don't let it steam. Oh. I gotta cover it up. I'm gonna cover it up with this foil because I want to cook through and through, and then I'll take the foil off and add it when time comes. It's got to cook at 350 for 45 minutes, but I'm gonna check it. I'm gonna check it in probably 30 minutes because I don't want it to dry out. If I let it cook for 45 minutes, well, when I'm going to do the other stuff? So you got to open this oven. See that? Open, pan it over there so you can see the potatoes. Can you see the potatoes in there?
First, I said she on her way.
She on her way?
Anya, you're not on your way.
Tell her. You don't want her to see? You don't want nobody. Oh, you don't want nobody to see? See that? Them are sweet potatoes. And that's my meatloaf I just put in. It's on 350 for 45 minutes. Now,